Get out my stuff.
We're ready on Gisson Donner.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So we're on the record in docket 22-03419. That is people of the state of Michigan versus DeMarco Gisson Donner. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Melanie Smith on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Easterly on behalf of the defendant, Mr. DeMarco Gisson Donner. We are both appearing via Zoom, and he would waive his right to an in-person appearance.
Thank you, Mr. Easterly. And sir, you are DeMarco Gisson Donner?
Yes, sir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Gisson Donner?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is a time set for a probable cause conference. Ms. Smith, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, the defendant is prepared to waive his 21-day timeline, preserving his right to a preliminary examination, just not within that time frame. Mr. Easterly acknowledged that he did receive discovery recently, but also due to some time away from the office, he would just like some more time to review that, and the people have no objection to the request.
Okay, so is this a waiver of the waiver of the 21-day rule would be a waiver of the prelim next week?
No, not a waiver of the exam, just a waiver of the timeline and a request to adjourn.
Oh, and a request to adjourn.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
And is that your understanding, Mr. Easterly?
It is, Judge. We'd like it set for one more PCC, and he's prepared to waive his right to the prelim within the 21 days.
Thank you. So, counsel, may I inquire your client of the waiver of the 21-day rule?
Yes, please. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Gisson Donner, you understand that you have the right to a preliminary examination within 21 days of your date of arraignment. A preliminary examination is a probable cause hearing in which the people in the state of Michigan would have to prove by probable cause evidence that a crime has been committed and the identity of the person who committed that crime. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
You, of course, are represented by Robert Easterly, and he would be present to contest any charges and to cross-examine any witnesses brought against you at a probable cause hearing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to that prelim within that 21-day rule. If you waive your right to a prelim within 21 days, you'll only waive your right to a prelim within that 21-day rule period. You will not be waiving your right to a prelim, to having your prelim in district court. Do you understand that?
I understand.
So it is your intent today, my understanding is your intent today, and your wish to waive your right to a preliminary examination within 21 days.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I find the waiver of the 21-day rule to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. There's no, without objection, we'll adjourn this to another probable cause conference.
Yes, Your Honor.
All
And
right.
I hate to be difficult, but I am set. I have 3 trials in the next 5 weeks that are all number 1 on the docket
All right.
in custody defendants. So
Lucky
I have,
you.
oh yes, Your Honor, I feel blessed. I have the 23rd and the 24th available for a PCC, and then I could do the 9th or the 10th for a preliminary examination, if those dates would be okay with Mr. Easterly.
The 24th would be preferable. My Thursdays are generally my pretrial docket day in East Lansing, so the 24th would be preferable. I try to avoid Thursdays if possible.
All right, so 24th is preferable for the PCC.
That's perfect, Your Honor.
And all right, will that work?
I'm sorry, Judge. I'm sorry, Judge. I have a preliminary examination on the 24th as well.
All right. Will the 23rd work?
I can do the 23rd.
Mr. Easterly, will the 23rd work?
23rd is my docket day for East Lansing. Can we look at the next week, Friday, or the next available Friday?
I can't do that week.
that's not available because of the trial schedule.
I can do the 9th or the 10th for PCC. I know that that's a bit of a timeout, but
The 10th works for me.
For the waiver 21 day, we can do the 10th.
Can't do the 10th.
What?
We're judges.
Oh, that's right. I'm at the second phase of a conference,
okay.
so the 10th doesn't work because I'm not here.
Mr.
Okay.
Easterly, do you think we could do PCC just by email?
I do.
All
Okay.
right, and then you want to do you want a date for prelim then?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I'll just indicate that the PCC will be by email, and then we'll set it for preliminary examination.
Ms. Smith, are you available on March 3rd? I'm sorry, you threw a bunch of dates out. I didn't get a chance to write them all down.
No, not March 3rd. I'm sorry. I can do March 10th, but I think that you have a conflict that day.
Yeah.
The following week, I'm going to be in Alabama for NCFI training. I am fully free the week of March 20th.
March 20th.
Working on it.
Following week, I'll be in jury trial.
Oh, you're on
training,
March
so I don't
March
know.
23rd at 8:30.
23rd at 8:30, that is fine for me.
Mr. Easterly, would a preliminary examination work March 23rd at 8:30?
So again, Thursdays are extremely problematic.
Yeah,
The
that's
24th is
not
wide
good.
open.
Want to do a Friday?
Also open on the 24th.
Let's do a Friday the 24th.
That's perfect.
So we'll adjourn the prelim to March 24th at 8:30.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
everyone.
I appreciate the course. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
All right. So with the waiver of the 21-day rule, and the PCC will be held by email, and we'll adjourn the preliminary examination to March 24th at 8:30.
Very good. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Anything
Thank you.
else for the record docket? 223419, Ms. Smith,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Easterly.
Not for the defense. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gissendoner, we'll see you on March 24th at 8:30.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You can log out, Mr. Gissendown.
Yeah, please feel free to leave the Zoom courtroom. We're on the record in docket 22035590. People of the state of Michigan versus Deontra Anderson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Listy on behalf of the people.
Yeah, Fred Blackman on behalf of Mr. Anderson, standing to my right at podium.
And sir, you are Deontra Anderson?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a preliminary examination, I believe. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, the defendant will be stipulating to the addition of several counts I'll put on the record momentarily and waiving his right to a preliminary examination on all the counts. Those counts are in adding count 4, discharge into a building causing injury. That is 15 years and/or $15,000 with mandatory forfeiture of the weapon or device. And that is the PAC code 750234B.
All right, what's the penalty for that 15 years again?
15 years and/or $15,000,
Okay,
as well as an additional count 5 and additional count 6. Both of those will be felony firearm. That is 750.227B-A. And that is 2 years consecutively with and preceding any term of imprisonment imposed for the felony or attempted felony conviction. Again, mandatory forfeiture of the device or weapon.
all right. And you'll be following that up with a amended information in circuit court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is that your understanding, Mr. Blackman? And I'll reread that just so we got it, okay? So there's stipulate to an added count 4 of discharge of the building pursuant to 750.234 parents B, that's a 15-year, 15,000. And account 5 and 6 of felony firearms, 750.227 B-A, the 2-year consecutive felony firearm on counts 5 and 6.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. And I've talked with my client about the addition of that by stipulating. I talked to him about the nature of this case, and if we did go through a preliminary exam, in all likelihood, the court would have added those 2 charges for preliminary exam purposes.
Correct.
So, and he understands that, and we would like to unconditionally waive today. I've talked to him about his rights, and he desires to unconditionally.
All right. May I inquire your client over the waiver of the prelim?
Yes,
Sir, you understand you have a right to a preliminary examination today in district court.
sir.
And if you waive your right to a preliminary examination in district court, will be done here in district court, and you'll be in circuit court, which is the trial court, and that's where you'll proceed.
Sir.
You understand that preliminary examination is a probable cause hearing in which the people of the state of Michigan would have to prove by probable cause evidence that a crime has been committed and the identity of the person who committed that crime.
Sir.
You, of course, are represented by Fred Blackman, and he would be available to you to cross-examine any witnesses and contest any charges brought against you by the people. With that understanding, you also have the right to waive that right to a preliminary examination, go right to circuit court, and you've stipulated that the prosecutor will add 3 counts, 1 count of larceny of discharge of the building, 2 counts of felony firearm. And the negotiations will continue in circuit court in regard to this file, but will be done in district court. You'll waive your right to approve them in the district court and go to circuit court.
Sir.
Is it my understanding that you wish to waive your right to a preliminary examination in district court today?
Sir.
All right. Do the people also waive their right to a preliminary within 21 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm the prelim in general.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I find the preliminary examination to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. So your time in district court is done. I'm waiving the case to circuit court. Any additional date you'll get from your attorney, Fred Blackman, concerning circuit court, because we don't have the circuit court arraignment dates anymore. So keep in contact with your attorney, Fred Blackman. He'll provide the new date in circuit court, okay? Anything else? Oh, you should sign the waiver. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, docket? And for the record, you'll be filing an amended complaint in circuit court for the 3 new charges.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03590, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Blackman?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Anderson, you're all set in district court. Good luck to you. Keep in contact with your lawyer.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
They got a place for the prosecutor.
You're up north.
I told him, good luck, he's going. So,
He's going back up north. I know, we're losing him. Yep. It is pretty nice up there, though.
It's cold.
really?
It's cold.
They only have one good golf course. It's called the Bluffs, isn't it?
I'm not sure where that is. That in Marquette?
No, it's halfway between Marquette and
It probably.
Wilderness. No, between St. Ignace, halfway.
So we're on the record in docket 23-00264. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Luke Nickerson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Here Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Nickerson.
Sir, you are Luke Nickerson,
Yes.
and you can hear me all right, Mr. Nickerson?
Yep.
All right. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, there have been some discussions between me and Ms. Robinson this morning. I would defer to the defense counsel as to how we'd like to proceed.
Ms. Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Nickerson. We do plan to waive the preliminary examination and bind it up to circuit court. I understand that you like to do those in person, so we can just leave it on for the prelim date and do that then.
All right. So this will be a waiver on next week, and we'll just leave on for preliminary examination for next week. Will that suffice? Ms. Wisty, is that your understanding? You've kind of turned it over, but
Yes, that's fine with me, Your Honor.
all right.
I would have no objection if the court wanted to do that over Zoom
All right.
this morning, but I'd leave it in your discretion.
Well, if we'll do that in person, those are serious right-taking things that we can do. So we'll leave it on for preliminary examination next week with the understanding that it's going to be a waiver. That's your understanding, Ms. Robinson?
It is. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Nickerson, so we'll see you next week on the 9th and for your preliminary examination, okay? That'll be live in person.
Okay, when will I get the Zoom stuff? Zoom information.
That'll be live in person, so you won't get any Zoom information because you have to waive some rights to put you in circuit court.
Okay, so how will I get the information of the address and everything?
Oh, it'll be it'll be on your notice. You'll have it on your notice. You'll get it you'll get your notice. But if you have any questions, it's on the 6th floor of the City Hall building, and Ms. Robinson can answer any of your questions. Okay.
I'll send you an email, Mr. Nickerson, with that information in it as well. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. That's all for the record in docket 23-00264. Thank you, everybody, for your appearances today.
And Mr. Nickerson, you can go ahead and log off Zoom now.
Thank you.
You're free to leave the Zoom. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so we're on the record. Mr. Neal, this would be your case 23-00226. People of the state of Michigan versus Raymond P. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rico Neal, appearing on behalf of Mr. P, who is present via the video system.
And sir, you are Raymond P.
Ramon P, Your Honor. Yes.
Ramon P, thank you. And you can hear me all right, Mr. P?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, a defendant will be waiving up into circuit court. People will also waive their right to a preliminary examination. The offer on the table at the time currently is that count 1 would be dismissed. And defendant would plead guilty to count 2, and as well as a count of use of a controlled substance in circuit court, and the habitual notice would be withdrawn if he accepts that offer.
Okay, so the offer right now is a plea to count 1 to be dismissed, plea to count 2 with an additional count. What's the additional count again?
Use of a controlled substance.
Okay. Which is an additional count of use and habitual to be dismissed. Those are the negotiations at this time in the offer at this time.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Neal, I'll restate that plea agreement for the record, and you can indicate if I've made any errors here. It's your intent to waive your right to preliminary examination. There's a current offer to dismiss count 1, plea to count 2 with an additional count of use involved, and then in circuit courts also the habituals be dismissed. Did I accurately sum up the negotiations at this point?
Your Honor, yes, that's a correct and accurate statement. I fully advise my client on the nature and the purpose of the preliminary examination, which he fully understands. He fully understands the offer that has been extended, and at this time he wishes to waive his right to have the exam, have this matter bound over to the circuit court. The court does have permission to sign my name and his name to the waiver bind over sheet.
All right. What's that? Yeah, well, there's two. One, I don't have a problem with doing. I prefer to do the waiver in person, but we can do it we can do it here by Zoom since I think Ms. Robinson. So that's a little inconsistency, but I understand it. The second thing is you will at some point have to sign the waiver because they won't allow us to sign it by proxy. So that's my understanding however you want to do that, but somebody's going to have to come in and sign the waiver. But I'm willing to do the waiver on the record.
That's not a problem, Your Honor. Like we can come down and sign the waiver at some point in time. That's not a
okay.
problem.
All right.
They'll need to go to circuit court because we'll bind it today.
All right.
Send it, so they'll go to circuit court to sign it.
So most likely you'll be in when you sign the waiver. It'll all the file. I just don't want you to come here. No, the file's not here. Go sign it in circuit court when you get there. All right.
That's not a problem, Your Honor. We'd also
all right. Thank you.
We'd also waive the circuit court arraignment. Do we need to do that here, or do we need to file the waiver in circuit?
You don't. You'll get your date from circuit court. You don't have to file the waiver here.
Thank you.
All right. So, counsel may inquire your client of the waiver of the preliminary examination.
Yes, you may.
All right, Mr. P, you understand you have the right to a preliminary examination today in district court. The prosecutor also has the right to a preliminary examination. Preliminary examination is a probable cause hearing in which the people would have to prove by probable cause evidence that a crime has been committed and the identity of the person who committed that crime. So of course you're represented by Mr. Neal, and he would be present to contest any charges and cross-examining witnesses brought against you. It's my understanding it is your intent today to waive your right to preliminary examination. You've heard us discuss the negotiations that are ongoing in this case. There's an offer on the table. Is it your intent today to waive your right to a preliminary examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And the prosecutor also waives the right to a preliminary examination, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I find the waiver to be freely, understandingly, and voluntarily made. We've talked about the plea agreement. So I will accept your waiver and bind the case over to circuit court on the negotiations. Mr. Neal has indicated you'll most likely sign the waiver in circuit court and get your date from Mr. Neal. So keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Neal, and he'll provide you with any additional dates. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record from the people on docket 23-00226?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Neal?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record of this file. You'll be now bound over to circuit court. Good luck to you, Mr. P.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom. Thank you. Ma'am, with the moniker Asia, are you Asia Guilford?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you. I was just double checking. All right. So Ms. Robinson, that's your case. We'll go ahead and call that.
Great, thank you.
So we're on the record in docket 22-01561. People of the state of Michigan versus Asia Guilford. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Whiskey on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Guilford.
And
My
ma'am,
name
you are Asia Guilford?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can hear me all right, Ms. Guilford?
Yes, I can.
All right, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mr. Whiskey, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, an offer has been extended. I would defer to Ms. Robinson on how we're proceeding this morning.
Ms. Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor. I have conveyed the offer to Ms. Guilford. She would like some more time to consider that offer. So right now we are going to leave the exam set as scheduled.
All right, so we'll leave the exam on for February 9th at 8:30. Is that your understanding, Ms. Guilford?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll leave the exam on for February 9th at 8:30. An offer has been extended. Anything else for the record, Mr. Whiskey, on docket 22-01561?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Guilford, keep in contact with your attorney, Aaron Robinson. We'll see you back here on February 9th at 8:30. Okay, ma'am?
All right, thank you.
That's all for the record in that file.
And you're free to log off, Ms. Guilford.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
We're on the record in docket 22-00300. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Catra Shondell Davis. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Honor. Dale Coltrane on behalf of Ms. Davis, who's standing immediately to my right.
And ma'am, I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. You are Catra Davis?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Whistler, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, there's been some negotiations with defense counsel. I would defer to defense counsel this morning on how they'd like to proceed.
All right, Mr. Colwrighter?
Your Honor, I think we will leave it on until next week so we can talk a little more.
All right. So the PCC was held and we're going to leave on the preliminary examination for next week. So the prelim is left on for February 9th at 9 a.m. All right, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, please keep in contact with your attorney, Dale Coltwrighter, and I'll see you February 9th next week at 9, all right?
Thank you so much.
Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, in docket 22-00300?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Coltwrighter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're all set. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Colwrighter?
I told him.
Mr. Colwrighter?
Yeah.
Your client, Carl, is running about a half hour late, we were informed.
Yeah, I was just talking with Mr. Wisty about that. He did contact me. He's driving in from Three Rivers.
Okay.
And you got the bond violation from PTS, right?
I did. I spoke with him yesterday. He said at this point his tether is up and running, that they did get that back yesterday or the day before.
Let me contact
Would you like that?
JGS, because they usually send us an email to follow up right away. And we did not get that.
I think we can go on Walton.
Mr. Walton.
One second.
That is jumping the gun. So we're on the record in docket 23-0069. People of the state of Michigan versus Dante Walton. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Derek Hedgerson, also the public defender on behalf of Mr. Walton, Your Honor.
And sir, you are Dante Walton?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can hear me all right, Mr. Walton?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mr. Wisty, how we proceed?
Your Honor, we've got a couple of issues in this case. I think it makes sense just to leave it on for preliminary examination. One, Mr. Walton, my understanding, is attempting to retain private counsel and may be close to doing so. Two, we had a delay in discovery obtaining the video that I need to review before making an offer on this case. I would suggest leaving it on for preliminary examination. Those issues may be sorted by that. That's where we're at this morning.
All right, Mr. Etheridge.
I would agree, Your Honor. There are some more discovery issues. Mr. Walton does intend to retain counsel. I have had email contact with him within the last couple of days. He advised me that he's almost at the point where he has the money to retain the guy, that he has been collecting and gathering the money together. But my understanding that he almost had the money and intended to have him by the next court date. He did say that he wanted me to appear today for him, but my understanding was he'd have an attorney by the next court date. There was an issue with pretrial services. I think that's sorted. He did get enrolled yesterday, and pretrial services confirmed that by email to the court staff.
All right. Mr. Walton, is that your understanding? At this point in time, we're going to leave the preliminary examination on for February 9th, 2023 at 8:30. There's also been some discussion that you're retaining counsel and so you will have retained counsel by next week at this time. Is that a fair statement, sir?
Yeah, I'm trying to still. Yeah.
All right. Well, in the meantime, keep in contact with your attorney, Derek Etheridge, as to the status of that. but we're just
Yes,
gonna leave
sir.
this on for prelim on February 9th at 8:30. So we'll see you so at this point, that'll be a live prelim here on that date.
Okay.
Any questions, Mr. Whiskey?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Etheridge?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walton. Thank you, Mr. Etheridge and Mr. Walton. We'll see you here on the 9th at 8:30. All right, sir?
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're free to leave the Zoom courtroom. Thank you for your appearance.
Okay.
Hey, are you gonna be here next week for the continuation of the,
No, I am not.
you're a witness.
Witness?
Yeah. When you guys were out in the hallway screaming and yelling.
I'm a witness.
Yeah, he told you he couldn't identify the person. You said I was gonna dismiss the case or have to dismiss the case.